Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Zippo action on it's a Monday night, not a Tuesday night. On a Monday night, we are getting set for more NASCAR Xfinity Series action for NASCAR Heat 5. Another full race live stream coming your way here today. And these, again, the Zippo 200 at Watkins, Glen. We come into this race now having 9 different winners on the season. We've had 2 new winners in the last 2 races. Justin Allgaier and Alex Labay have clinched playoff spots both yesterday at Michigan and Pocono. As we go into Watkins Glen, we'll have the steering wheel in hand here today. We'll have session qualifying before we get on with the race as usual for the road courses. And without further ado, we are going to hop in. Top 12 advance to round 2. Kyle Busch comes into this race 32 points back of Austin Cindric. He lost a lot of points there, but then he ended up gaining 11 on Cindric. Cindric finished 13th at Pocono, while Kyle Busch went on to finish 2nd. So here we go. Called 88, R6, Siege Beast, R6. Welcome to the stream. And here we go.
All right, driver D.
The steering wheel in hand here for this Watkins Glen road course race. A little bit of a mishap getting out of the pits there. No practice rolling into this one. That could be an issue here for Kyle. Speed on his warm-up lap coming out of the pits. Really trying to get used to the lining here in the corners. We did race with the steering wheel here in the Cup Series last time we were here. A little bit different in the Xfinity Series. The cars are a little bit slower, so you don't want to over-anticipate a corner. Down to the start-finish line. This will be the first lap that will count in qualifying. Busch back down turn 1 perfectly, got back in the gas early, a little wide off the exit of the corner, but not too bad. The curbing actually kind of helped him turn on the exit of turn 1. Got through the S's pretty well, now into that bus stop chicane. Checked up a little early perhaps. Again, the top 12 will make it to the next round of qualifying. That's all Busch is going for here in round 1. Jacob Westbrook, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I hit the wall coming out of the pits. That looked bad. A little too antsy there. A little wide in turn 6. That's going to make it an awkward angle into turn 7. Not too bad, though, for Kyle Busch on that first lap. He could definitely pick up the pace lap 2. He had a 110.625 at the start-finish line there. So one more lap for Kyle Busch, and then we'll go to the second round, assuming Kyle has a lap time fast enough to get to the second round. 9 races to go until the playoffs after this one today. Next race at Iowa for the NASCAR Xfinity Series side. Big bounce off the curbing on the exit of that bus stop. Alex Labay to the top of the charts. He's a good road course racer, and he might have a shot to go back-to-back. Remember, he won at Pocono on that late race restart. We went green with 6 laps to go. Kyle Busch was not able to hold on to the lead. Caution came out on the white flag as Labay pulled away from Busch. Kyle was at least able to hold on older tires for second. He just couldn't get the win. Despite dominating, well, I wouldn't say necessarily dominating the race, but he did lead the most laps. 110.352 that time. Trying to hit the options button. I kept missing it. Second in round one there for Kyle Busch. Alex LeBay top of the charts by about a tenth of second over where Kyle Busch ended up. Austin Cindric, pretty good road course racer. Also, we'll have to see how he will do in this one.
Let's go.
So here we go, round number 2. 10 minutes to see who will sit on the pole at Watkins Glen here tonight. A lot better pit road exit there that time. Took our time getting out onto the racetrack. No need to rush it. Don't want to damage the car. So LeBay had the fastest time in round 1. He's going to be the guy to beat here. In round number 2, Kyle Busch was only about a tenth of a second behind him. Cracked some burnouts on iRacing. Hope that means you're winning. Can't do burnouts if you can't win. Kyle really gripped up well through turn 5 there. Pretty good on the warm-up lap. Now let's see if Kyle Busch can replicate that on his actual time trial lap this time at the start-finish line. This will be an 82-lap, 200-mile event here tonight. So not a very long race at all. Into the bus stop chicane. Busch really got into there really well. Almost kind of got back to the gas a little too soon though. Not the greatest through turn 7 that time, kind of undercut the corner a little too much, but not a bad lap for Kyle Busch. 110.763, not quite as fast as where he was in round number 1, so we'll see if Kyle can pick up the pace on lap 2. Gregson with a 1:11 lap time there. He's going to have to pick up the pace if he's going to want a shot at the pole also. So just 3 spots remaining on points, but again, we still got 10 races before the playoffs coming into this race tonight. We could have a possibility. We could have more than 12 different winners, so those drivers with 1 win. Could you imagine us having 13 different winners or more? Because if we do, we're going to have guys with wins that aren't even going to make the playoffs. They obviously have to be in the top 20 points, but currently of all the winners, they are in the top 20. LeBay pulling off yet another upset that we have seen this season, to go along with Joe Nemechek's upset, as well as Austin Hill getting a win earlier this season. Busch at the line with a 110.263, so he picked up on lap 2 by about a half a second compared to lap 1. Now on to lap 3. We'll see what Busch can go for here. And if he messes up a corner along the way, he'll hit pit road. He'll put 4 fresh tires back on it and try to go back out there again. LeBay's first lap is a 111.458. So he's kind of dropped off from where he was in round 1, at least on the opening lap. Really good through the chicane that time. Busch is going to have a good lap. Turn 6 and pretty amazing. Thanks, man. I'm quite surprised how well we're getting through there. Usually that's my worst corner on this racetrack, is turn 6 and 7. It's usually turn 6 and then that kind of ends up turning into an awkward angle into turn 7, but not so far tonight. 109.949. That is a quick time for Kyle Busch. That is a really fast lap. We haven't seen a lap time like that in qualifying yet. That's going to be tough to beat for the pole. Just past halfway. Less than 5 minutes to go, and Busch will hit pit road this time. Put 4 fresh tires back on the car. Practice his pit stop. In case we do have to make any green flag stops in the race tonight, we'll get that little bit of practice in because we did not actually practice before this race, but get a mini practice session in perhaps, assuming Kyle Busch can end up nabbing the pole. Worst case scenario, he goes back out there with 4 fresh tires and has a chance to get an even better time. King, welcome to the stream. Yeah, no DNF. Kyle Busch coming to pit road here. 40 miles an hour is the pit road speed limit. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel here. So a practice stop for Kyle Busch in qualifying. Oh, congratulations there, Cole. Got 8 people watching right now. Again, we're getting set for the race here in a couple minutes. Finishing out our final laps of qualifying here in session qualifying tonight. Opposite pit stop here, servicing the left side tires before the right side and fueling from the right side of the car. Different than what you see on most ovals. I should say all ovals and even some other road courses. This is a very unique racetrack in that aspect. A much different pit stop. That is still the fastest lap for Busch right now with less than 3 minutes to go in qualifying. Brandon Jones with a 110.446, about half a second off from where Busch was. Track position, so much of a key whenever you come to these road course races. Kyle Busch had a rough go at Road America. He qualified second, led the first 13 laps of the race. Ran in second for a while there until he ended up damaging his vehicle. Locking the tires down a little too much with less than 20 laps to go and ended up falling back to about 18th place in the long run at the end of it there, and that was a rough break. So Busch cannot afford to make a mistake here on this road course race tonight. As he gets up to speed, he's trying to pass Ross Chastain. He will cleanly. Perfect timing right before he starts his lap that will likely count. I should say that will count if obviously it's faster than the fastest time that Kyle's ran so far. But that time's going to be tough to beat even for himself here. But he's got the fresh tires. We'll see. Really good through turn 5. Punching it back through turn 7 really well. This is going to be a really fast lap too for Kyle Busch, but will it be faster? Yes, it is. A 109.610, 0.3 of a second. Destroying the field here in qualifying by about 0.8 of a second now over second place. That is unbelievable. This will be Kyle Busch's first pole of the season. If he can hold on here, he is not qualified on the pole yet. He was close at Road America. Again, qualified second. That is the closest he's been to the pole by far all season. This will only be his second top 10 qualifying effort. I mean, only the top 5 have ran times in the 110s, and there you see Austin Cindric in 4th currently. Kyle's not going to be able to get another lap in. This is going to be it. And we'll still have to wait to see if there's anybody behind him to complete a lap. But again, that lap time will be tough to beat. At the start-finish line, I don't think he beat it that time. Oh, he did! 109.563 Busch. Getting faster and faster through qualifying. Unbelievable. And he is on the pole by quite a bit. 0.6 of a second. Kyle Busch will qualify on the pole over Brandon Jones. Jeremy Clements in 3rd. Austin Cindric 4th. Gragson rounds out the top 5 in qualifying. Alex LeBay qualified 7th after winning the opening round. He really dropped off the pace there in round 2. Kyle Busch, first pole of the season here for this NASCAR Xfinity Series on NASCAR Heat 5. So that is a really good time by Kyle, and that if he can run time similar to that in the race, that is going to be insane and very hard to keep up with. But with Cindric qualifying in the top 5 and him being probably the best road course racer in the Xfinity Series, Kyle definitely has to be on his best behavior tonight to try and get the win, knowing he's still 32 points back with 10 races to go. All right, so here we go. 10 people watching. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Definitely got to relax and hit the corners. 82 laps. Matt Mills, Jesse Little, both starting from the rear of the field today. Little's had a couple of great runs, 2 top 10s back-to-back in the last 2 races. A 3rd place finish at Pocono, nonetheless. But here we go. Kyle Busch will lead the field to the green. Green flag in the air. Watkins Glen will road course racing for the 2nd time this season. Busch rolls it down into turn 1, trying to beat Brandon Jones to the brakes, and he overruns turn 1. And Brandon Jones, who had the advantage by restarting on the outside, is going to get to the lead. Kyle Busch controlled the pace there, and he overdrove turn 1, trying to clear Brandon Jones. He beat him back to the gas, though, through the S's. You can see Busch gaining a lot of time in the draft now, and he's stuck behind Brandon going into the bus stop. Very difficult area of the racetrack to pass. They'll likely have to set him up here through turn 5. Maybe get him into turn 6, perhaps. Very tough to pass on these road courses, especially if you're trying to pass the car in clean air, but that's what Busch is going to try to do right now. And Brandon Jones will lead lap 1. Points leader Cindric right behind Busch. Busch dove it in a little too early through turn 7, so Brandon Jones will lead the opening lap of the race despite qualifying 2nd. We'll have to see how Busch is going to try to attack to get around Brandon. Maybe back in the gas a little too early in turn 1. Got to calm down here. Very early in the race, Busch might be overdriving these corners just slightly, trying to catch Brandon. He's really good through the S's. He gained time on the opening lap, and you can tell he's gaining time once again. And instead of being in the draft, he's taking that clean air. Ducking underneath him, and look at the time gain. Going into the bus stop, he got in the back of him. And Jones tries to save it, and he does. Wow. What a save by Brandon Jones. He was sideways all the way through the bus stop. Busch overran the corner again, right into the back of him, and not only held on to it, but he holds on to the lead. That is unbelievable. Busch now going for it again, but Jones throws the block into turn 6. Busch, wide exit to the corner, maybe trying to get the advantage into turn 7, not quite. Cindric right there behind Busch, waiting for Kyle to make a mistake. Jones had a big bounce off the curb on the inside there. Oh man, really tight area of the racetrack. Again, very tough to pass in this area of the track. And Jones is hanging on well right now. Busch is really trying to get around him, but look at Jones blocking him off repeatedly. And now Busch looks to the inside. Can he get alongside of him? Oh, he's going to try to outbrake him into the bus stop. What a brilliant move by Busch. Here comes Jones right back. Busch bounced off the curb right into Jones. Man, these two are going at it in the opening laps of the race. Kyle Busch off of turn 5 to the lead. Cindric now looking for second place on Brandon Jones behind. Battle for track position early in this race, trying not to let one another get away from each other. Owen Hayes, welcome to the stream. Jones really drove it in deep into turn 1 back there, and Busch beat him back to the gas. Busch pulls him through the S's, and that seems to be Busch's best area of the track right now. He really gains a lot of time through there. Bus stop as well at times. And he's opened up to about a 2-second lead. We'll have to see if Austin Cindric is faster than Brandon Jones. Again, tough to pass whenever you're at a road course. You saw how difficult it was for Busch to get back around Jones after Jones capitalized on Busch's minor mistake. Turn 1, lap 1. And remember, you go into turn 1 a lot different on the restarts compared to what you would a normal lap. A normal lap, you're going in there much faster. So it's kind of hard to anticipate how deep you can carry a corner on the restarts. And Busch definitely over-anticipated it there, and that's how he ended up losing the lead. But Kyle's pulled right ahead to about a 2.5-second lead once he got it. Again, we'll have to see if Cindric can make a run at Kyle Busch at all, if he can get to second place. Long ways to go in this one. Plenty of time for there to possibly be a caution, so don't rule that out of consideration. We'll catch lap traffic eventually if we get a long enough green flag run also. Probably catch them right around the 10 lap mark in this one. Tomas Perez, welcome to the stream. For anybody new watching in this one tonight, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Realistic broadcast with these full race live streams on the daily. Other NASCAR content in the works. Going to Darlington this week, so I'll be vlogging that trip for the Southern 500. Should be a lot of fun. I leave Thursday. So we'll have a stream the next 2 nights. And then we'll still be streaming Thursday, but it'll be a late morning hours stream. And then I'll be on the road early that afternoon. Probably about an hour or so after I get done streaming, I'll be on the road. So that's what we're looking at for the streaming schedule the rest of the week. We'll be truck racing tomorrow night at Talladega, so that should be a fun one. And we go to Iowa for the Xfinity Series on Wednesday. And then depending on how much time I have Thursday, we'll think about doing the Talladega Cup race. We might hold off on that just because it's supposed to be an earlier stream. We'll probably just do another Xfinity race on Thursday. That's kind of the outlook as far as what we're doing. All NASCAR Heat 5 related, of course. And Cindric really needs to get around Jones. He's almost being too patient with him because Busch has opened this lead up about 4 seconds already. Really showing how fast he was in qualifying. He has already ran a lap time in the 109s in the race. About 0.2 of a second off from where he was in qualifying. Mari P, welcome to the stream. Why am I driving backwards? Hope I got that. Yeah, I did. Okay, there we go. Yeah, indeed. Road to 1,000. I noticed I was at 530 subscribers like 4 different times since last night's stream. I saw it drop down to 529 a couple times throughout the day, up to 531, back to 529. Now we're at 530 when we started this thing, so that was kind of weird. Five-second lead now on Jones. Cindric's being patient, which is okay. As long as he gets a caution, of course, at some point in time. You don't want to be patient and there not be a caution and never have that opportunity to get back at the lead. But very early in the race still, less than 10 laps in. I'm sure he's knowing that the intensity will pick up as the race carries on. Much like how you saw at the start of the race. I'm using the steering wheel here tonight. Trying to keep steady for the full 82 laps. And there it is. Caution's out at lap number 7. So didn't take long for the first caution of the race tonight. And that'll bunch the field right back up again. So hopefully Busch can nail his restart this time. See if we got any splitting strategies. Tommy Joe Martin's back there in 20 seconds. Going to hit pit road. Looks like Jeff Green, Chad Fincham at the rear of the field will hit pit road. So we'll restart with 71 laps to go. That'll be lap 12 at that time. Nope, not going to pick. Going to keep the track position. Notice with the road courses, it doesn't seem like the tire fall off is that bad until you get to about 30%, and then it's terrible at that point. But still got a ways to go up until that, not even halfway through the run. So we're going to get set for a restart. Kyle Busch needs to make sure he does not overrun that first corner like he did on the initial start. Green flag back in the air. Lap 12. Busch gets through the gears a lot better that time than what he did on that opening start. He gets down in front of Brandon Jones. Brandon could not get around him there. Kyle did a much better job holding on to it. Learned from his mistake at the start of the race. I'm sure you probably won't see him doing that again. And Austin Cindric filed in line in third place immediately there behind Brandon Jones. And now Kyle Busch going to try to pull away from Brandon. And because the leaders didn't pit, Jones wasn't able to make adjustments despite restarting in second, so I still don't see him being able to really keep pace with Kyle. We'll see if Cindric can run him back down. He lost a little bit of time after the exit of turn 1. Can alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race here today. At the start-finish line. Very early going. Inside the onboard cam now at this Toyota Supra. 70 laps to go. And Watkins Glen. Remember, at the first road course race of the year at Road America, we only had one caution the entire race, and it didn't come until just less than 20 to go. And now in this race, a much different scenario. We already had a caution in the first 10 laps, so a little wide through turn 6 that time by Busch. Exit actually wasn't as bad for going wide. He was quickly able to hit his marks into turn 7 like nothing happened in turn 6. Lead here for Busch. Not really pulling away from Jones like he did earlier. At least not yet. Hendrick still not quite to that back bumper of Jones, still a little over a second behind him. Probably a bad time to look at the chat. There's the turn 5. Didn't really mess the corner up too badly, but definitely exited a lot wider than what I usually do. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. A little wide on the entry to turn 5, but he got a perfect drive off. B, welcome to the stream. Again, the second road course race of the season, the first road course race of this Xfinity Series season. Daniel Hemrick got the win at Road America, and that was about 4 races ago. So we'll see if he can maybe go 2 for 2 here. Fastest lap of the night for Kyle Busch, a 1:09.396. That is faster than any of the laps he ran in either round in qualifying. So he is running at qualifying pace right now, if not faster. That is just unbelievable in race trim here. That's what the clean air will do for you. If you have the car and you have the talent around these road courses. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. Woodston, welcome. Yeah, I think the Watkins Glen. I think Watkins Glen's a pretty cool track. I was there in person last year. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful area of the country for sure. That track is really nice. That was my first road course race I'd ever been to. And it was a pretty good race for the most part. And it was definitely entertaining to say the least. I was quite surprised. Well, I wasn't surprised that it wasn't going to be entertaining. I knew it was going to be entertaining anytime you're at a race live. But it was definitely different. When you're used to going to ovals and then you see a road course, especially with stock cars still. It was definitely different, but I liked it. Then sure enough, I went to the Charlotte Roval like a month later. So saw my first 2 road course races in the span of like barely over a month apart from each other. Coincidentally, Chase Elliott won both of them. And then I saw Chase Elliott win the All-Star race this year, so that means 3 of the last 4 races I've seen, NASCAR races I've seen, Chase Elliott's won. It must be his good luck charm or something. Going to Darlington this week, does that mean Chase Elliott's going to win at Darlington? Southern 500? If he does, with me going, that would be an insane streak. 4 or 5 races, 4 of the last 5 races I've gone to, Chase Elliott gets the win. The only one to win in that stretch was Harvick at Michigan last year. Would have been that one driver that wasn't Elliott that won in that stretch. I've seen Keselowski win a couple times the last couple years. I saw him win at Indy 2018 and then at Atlanta last year. I have seen Harvick win twice, both at Michigan. I think those are the only drivers I've seen win more than once. I saw Kenseth win at Michigan. That was the first ever race I'd gone to. I have not seen Kyle Busch win a race of all the races I've been to in person. I want to say I've been to 11 or 12 races. I want to say Bristol was 12 for the All-Star race. But yeah, I haven't seen Kyle Busch win. Saw Truex win at Kentucky. Trying to think. I saw Alex Bowman get his first career win at Chicagoland. That was pretty cool. Getting to see a driver get his first career win's pretty awesome in person. Trying to think if I forgot any others. Oh yeah, Clint Boyer. I saw Boyer win at Michigan too. That range shortened race back in 2018. Almost forgot about that one. And then I would have saw Logano win last year's Michigan race, the June race. That was a pretty good one too. Logano got the win that day. So I have seen a variety of different drivers win. I haven't seen Blaney win yet, but one of these days. I did not see Jimmy win. No, my first race I went to was 2015 at Michigan. And really over his career, he never had the best of luck at Michigan. And I didn't start going to other tracks outside of that until 2018. I went to Kentucky and the Brickyard 400 at Indy. And that's when I turned 18 years old and I was able to actually like travel myself out of state and stuff legally. And so, yeah, my parents were like, yeah, if you want to go, go. So I was like, all right, I'm going. So, yeah, I usually found like a buddy of mine to go. Various different people, various times. I feel like I'm forgetting a race in there somewhere that I might have seen somebody else win, but I think I got them all. .7.5 second lead for Kyle Busch. Austin Cindric still in second. Or in third, rather, behind Brandon Jones, who's in second. Jones about a half a second ahead of him. So again, really tough to tell exactly if Cindric can keep up with Busch or not. Yeah, the only short track I've been to is Bristol for the All-Star race last month. The only short track I've been to. I'm supposed to go to Martinsville in November this year. And that'll be an actual points race, so that'll be probably a lot better. More cars, have more of a traditional short track race. And it's in the playoffs too, so that'd be pretty cool. They haven't announced that they're supposed to have fans or not yet though, so still waiting that out. But oh, we got a car blowing up in the S's. Can't tell who it is, but it's not too far out ahead of Kyle Busch as he's about to catch lap traffic. Gets to the inside to finish him up the exit of the S's here. Oh, had a huge checkup. Luckily, nobody ran into anybody there, and it's Jeffrey Earnhardt with heavy damage to the front of his race car. So Jeffrey Earnhardt having problems on the racetrack. Likely taking himself out of the race. Tough break there for the Zero team. Tires are about to be very worn out on Kyle Busch's Toyota Supra very shortly here. He's got about a 6.5 second lead. He lost about a 1.5 seconds to Jones there because he had to check up with Jeffrey Earnhardt having those issues. .61 laps left. Thanks, Tim. Back in the gas a little too soon there by Busch. Big run on Harmon. Austin Hill. He was keeping up that pace after winning the season opener at Daytona there for a little while. Then we hit that halfway mark of the regular season. He is, I don't think he's finished inside the top 20 since. He's had a really rough go of it as of late. Bristol is awesome. It is awesome. Now, I was only there strictly for the All-Star race, and although that was cool, I would have to assume the night race with a full capacity would be awesome. So you got to figure too, I witnessed Bristol with 30,000 fans, roughly, because it was a pandemic race. I mean, the energy was kind of there, but it wasn't like as prestigious. You know, there was no pre-race festivities, like none of that. So it was just like we were there for the race and that was it. We left when the race was over. So that was, well, we were there for the Open too, but still, I mean, we were there strictly for the race and that was it. Like there was nothing. Like the gates didn't even open until 2 hours before the race, before the Open started. I mean, parking until like 3 hours before the race. Usually parking's open like all day. But yeah, well, Bristol was definitely awesome. I had a lot of fun. I had goosebumps walking into that place. I kind of had that when I went to Indy, but I had it more when I went to Bristol. I couldn't imagine going to Daytona how big the goosebumps would be. I think Bristol would have been more overwhelming, again, if it was the night race and it was... Yeah, for sure. That would have felt a lot more prestigious. Oh, awkward angle into turn one under Matt Mills there. Fell in line right behind him now, and Mills is not really letting Busch go, and now he does through the S's. Seemed like he got out of the gas and let Kyle get on through there. Shoots the gap on Landon Castle. Kyle Busch pulling away, and Austin Cindric's falling back to fourth. Noah Gragson caught him and passed him. So Cindric maybe not as fast as we originally thought. Maybe he's just not handling well on older tires. Kyle Busch's car shouldn't be handling as well as it is right now with 25% tire wear, but it feels like nothing's wrong with the race car right now. I mean, he is just blowing through this lap traffic. David Starr will go a lap down now through turn 7. Andrew Hollenbach, welcome to the stream. Yeah, we have just had an amazing, clean race for the most part. We had a little contact with Brandon Jones on the initial start a couple times, trying to get back around him. After we overdrove turn 1, lap 1, but outside of that tiny error there, Kyle Busch has been absolutely flawless tonight. Nowhere close to any penalties. And he hasn't had to make a green flag stop yet. Remember, 15-second penalty for a pit road speeding violation there, and he doesn't quite have even that big of a lead. So, still got to be careful, and he's still on severely older tires with that left front at 21% tire wear. You're seeing the left front wear out more than the right side tires here simply because there are more left-handed corners, and of those left-handed corners, a lot of them are a lot higher speed and sharper compared to the right-handed turns. You think of turn 5, turn 1 especially. Up here in turn 7, another hard left-hander. And then a left-right, obviously, in the bus stop. Really, the only hard, straight right-hand turn is left-hand turn is turn number 6. All the rest are hard rights. Gotta be careful locking the brakes there. You can really see a little bit of a tire spin, a little bit of a wheel spin getting on the brakes. This was a situation in which he wrecked at Road America during the course of that second run. You could see the tires really wearing off on Kyle Busch's Toyota all of a sudden. There's Howard now. Busch sliding around turn 5. Entered the corner really loose, and then on exit he was very tight. He's going to get around him down the straightaway though. 17 cars now in the lead lap tonight. And again, we're getting closer and closer to those green flag pit stops. Busch is going to stay out this time. .56 laps to go. Oh man, look at that wheel spin going into turn 1. Kind of locked the brakes up a little too much there. Really saw that car skate back and forth quite a bit on Kyle. A little bit of a wheel spin through the S's also, and that's not really a high braking zone. It's a lot of elevation changes. Yeah, NASCAR Thunder 04, that's not going to be until likely next week. Although I am likely going to get the adapter tomorrow. With it being a work night, I definitely can't do it tomorrow or Wednesday. And then Thursday I leave for Darlington. I just won't have enough time to likely even do a cup race, so we'll probably have to wait until I get back from Darlington the following week. Brody the Legend, welcome to the stream. Busch did a good job not locking the brakes up too much that time. Man, he almost ended up in the wall off the exit of turn 1 there. Definitely got to be careful. Thanks there, Called. There's 17 people watching currently. Do I live in South Carolina? Because you do. No, I live in Northwest Ohio. Nope, just traveling down for the race this weekend. I've had my tickets since, I want to say I bought them right around end of May, early June. Try to get those first dibs in case they were going to have a partial crowd, which they are. Only 8,000 fans are supposed to be in attendance, so it's going to be very, very partial crowd. It's going to feel weird. Like Bristol at least had 30,000. Man, 8,000? I thought Bristol was there when I was there. Man, it's going to be few and far between, that is for sure. Down to 9% on that left front. Busch is really taking care of the car well despite the older tires. Being a little extra careful in the corners, backing them up a little bit more. Still got about an 18-second lead on Brandon Jones. LeBay back there in 5th. He was your winner at Pocono last night in the last race that we did on this season. 20 people watching. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Yeah, it is. University of University of Northwest Ohio, UNOH. I actually have family that lives a couple blocks away from that college. It's in Ada, Ohio. And we go down for the Ada Festival every Labor Day weekend. Not this year, obviously it's canceled and I'm going to the race anyway. But usually we go down there with my aunts and uncles that live down there. And we go to that festival, and you literally walk down that same street as that college. It's kind of a smaller college. Ada's not a big... It's kind of... I don't know how to compare it to you guys necessarily, but... It's like... Not quite a city, but it's kind of bigger than a town at the same time. It's close to city size. It's just not quite there. But yeah, definitely they are very, very big into racing in that aspect, especially if you want to be like an engineer. That's a really good college to go to. So we were a couple laps away from pit stops there, and the caution will fly with 53 to go. That is the second caution of the race tonight. And you're going to see pit stops now under yellow. Oh, Bristol for sure. Triple Boy 3, welcome to the stream. Watkins, Glen's your favorite track. Nice, man. Probably Sunday Thunder. It wouldn't be Sunday night. No, because literally the race is Sunday night. So I actually don't get back until Tuesday. And then I'll have to work the first 2 days I'm back. Wednesday, Thursday. They had to push it back because of Labor Day. So we're probably looking at Friday. We could probably start speed weeks next week, obviously. Not this week, but next week we could start speed weeks. And that would work out perfectly because we could do the Bud Shootout one day, and then we can do the duel and then the 500. So, should work out. Oh, Jones keeping up with Busch on the restart. He got right to the back bumper off the exit of turn 1, but Busch beats him back to the gas as we're back to green flag action here tonight at Watkins Glen. Brandon hasn't been able to keep up with Busch so far, but that was the first pit stop of the race. So we'll see if Brandon and his team was able to make any adjustments. Still have to pit at least one more time. 3 sets of tires, plenty to go to the end. Alex LeBay with a great restart, a great pit stop. He's up to 3rd place. Ahead of Cindric even, who is in 4th, and Gregson lost 2, now 3 spots. Gregson just fell outside of the top 5. He was in 3rd right at that caution. That's unfortunate they're called, but hopefully we'll see you around. We do these daily, so you know, I'm sure I'm going to see you around quite a bit still. Over a 1-second lead. Jones trying his best to hang with Kyle Busch right now. And you got to give props to Brandon Jones. Not only Busch has the clean air, but he has by far led the most laps tonight. But he needs to. He needs to be out front and stay out front. And boy, he went really wide off of turn 5. That car did not grip up at all that time. Haven't seen a problem like that out of Busch's car all day. Oh, wide off of 6. Gonna have to settle it down. Jones was a little bit faster that last lap, but Busch made a couple of little errors. If I had to live anywhere in the U.S., where would it be? So, it's a tough question. I always thought about like kind of just staying up here in Ohio. If I had to move, I really love Charlotte. When I was down there for the Roval last year, I fell in love with that area of the country for sure. I had been to other areas of the country where there's really nice scenery, but I wouldn't necessarily want to live there. But, like, if I had to move, like, that would be a really cool area. And if I get a broadcasting gig someday, I guess that would become a reality anyway, so. But, yeah, that's, that would probably be number 1. If I had to move outside of Northwest Ohio, I'd probably say near the Detroit area would probably be 2, simply because I go to games all the time up there, and Michigan's still my home track, so I'll literally only be within a half hour of that still. So I would still be able to see a race or 2 a year there, so I would just have to travel an extra hour, hour and a half if I had to go south. But I would lean more towards Charlotte if I was forced to move out of state. That's probably where I'd go. Somewhere around that Charlotte, North Carolina area. Somewhere warm. Yeah, these winters are brutal up here, let me tell you. You wouldn't think that they're that bad until you actually live here. I mean, you get used to it for sure. It's just a common time of the season. But once you get through the holidays, like it's kind of nice. Winter's nice at first, because you know you get to Thanksgiving, you get to Christmas, but then by the time Christmas and New Year's is over, it's like, okay, now I want winter to be done, because I mean, you get into like middle of January, late February, and it's still like struggling to break 20 degrees. It just gets ridiculous. It's like, come on, when is this gonna end? We've been having really late springs the last like 3 or 4 years. It seems like it's taken till like the middle of May before it even starts to consistently break 60 degrees. I never remembered it being like that when I was a kid, but the last like 4 or 5 years it seems like it's been like. But at the same time too, even though we're having later springs, it seems like the fall's coming later too. It's almost like we skipped spring. Like this year, it was like maybe like in like 50s and 60s for about 2-3 weeks, and then we had a spike right at Memorial Day weekend, and it was like 90 degrees that weekend. It was basically like anywhere between 80 to 100 degrees pretty much from that time up till now. So I mean, it's basically like we didn't even have spring this year. It's like a jump from winter to summer. Very strange. But yeah, it seems like the falls have been kind of, it's really weird. It seems like the springs are a little later and the falls are a little later the last few years. Like it's still staying above or right around 70 degrees until like middle of October, late October, which usually doesn't do that. Because I think I remember going golfing in like early November last year, something ridiculous like that. It was like 60 degrees in like the first weekend of November, and I went golfing. I usually don't golf anywhere past like middle of October at the latest just because it gets too cold, but it was actually still decent outside. I will not be driving out to the racetrack this weekend because I'm going with my dad. We're taking his truck. But so this will actually be the first racetrack I've been to that I didn't actually take my car, because usually when I go, usually we go as a family to Michigan, but I haven't been able to get them to go to a different track, so I usually just go with friends and I usually drive. I'm usually the driver. But yeah, it was it'll be a little bit different, I guess, not driving. I mean, we'll rotate. I think he already said he's willing to rotate, which I don't care. I just like driving my car. "43 laps to go here at Watkins Glen." We're almost halfway home. Kyle Busch, about a second and a half ahead of Brandon Jones. It's been pretty equal, right around a second to 2 seconds. Kyle not able to pull away from Brandon like he was at the very beginning of the race. During the entirety of that first fuel run, Brandon might have made some adjustments, got a little bit faster. Anthony Hanley, welcome to the stream. Alex LeBay still sitting in third. Cindric back and forth still. Gregson fifth. Busch came so close to winning at Pocono. Probably should have won Michigan. And both those races slipped away from him one way or another. He led the most laps in both of those races. We'll be crossed flags halfway this time by when we hit the start-finish line. 41 laps will be complete at the line this time by. 41 will still remain. Two cautions so far here today. Busch is pulled away to about a 2.5 second lead now. Slowly getting away from Brandon Jones. Jones was hanging in there for a little bit. Not so much at the time. Oh yeah, Minnesota, I bet it is pretty brutal. Don't want to live there again. Yeah, Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Dakotas. Usually about as cold as it gets up in that area. Colorado could be pretty cold up in the mountains too. From what I've heard, obviously. I've never actually visited any of those states. I really want to go to Green Bay for a Packers game sometime, but or maybe even Road America if NASCAR ends up, the Cup Series ends up going there. I'd go for that for sure. I mean, my goal is to get to every Cup Series track anyway at some point in time, so if they do add it, I guess I'll have to go. But that'd be cool if it's like a later season race, like during football season, and the Packers can get like a Monday night game or something like that. Go see the race on Sunday, see a Monday night game at Lambeau the next night. I'd be down for that. It'd be early in the season, so it wouldn't be that cold yet. And LeBay has reeled in Brandon Jones. Jones starting to slip back, which is causing LeBay to slip back slightly. 40 laps to go now at Watkins Glen. And Busch has just dominated most of the night tonight. All but those first few laps that Brandon Jones led, about the first 2 or 3 laps of the race. But Busch also started on the pole, his first pole of the season. And only his second front row start. Live 45 minutes for Martinsville, nice. If they have fans, you planning on going this year to the playoff race? So I know if they have fans and I'm eligible to go, I'll be going for that one too. That'll be the last race I'll be at this year. Got 3 more left on the itinerary, which kind of, it sucks because I just wasn't able to see enough this year. I was only at Bristol. A little late on the downshift there that time, but not too bad. Busch has a manageable lead. But yeah, I was supposed to go to the Pocono doubleheader, both Michigan races as usual, and the Coke 600. And the Brickyard 400, I was supposed to go down there again. That race we were actually supposed to get family there. And then I obviously wasn't going to go to the All-Star race. That was kind of like a last minute idea, like, hey, let's get tickets. They're having fans. I haven't seen a race yet this year, so bought 2 tickets, got a buddy of mine to go. Oh man, sorry for that. That snuck up on me. I'm very surprised I didn't mess up that corner when I sneezed. I was like right in the middle of the S's, right behind a lap car at Chad Fincham. Jones has reeled in Busch slightly the last couple laps. Once again, about 3.5 seconds off the lead, but yeah, Martinsville will be cool. Yeah, so I'm supposed to be at Darlington this weekend for the Southern 500. I'm supposed to be at Talladega, which is a for sure because they already announced they were having fans and I'm eligible to go. So those 2 races are guaranteed. And then Martinsville's up in the air because we don't know if they're allowed to have fans or not. And I'm scared that they're not going to have fans only because Richmond's in the same state and they're not having fans at Richmond this week or next week. Oh man, Busch really aggressive to get by those lap cars before they got into the bus stop. Good job. They played it nice with them. Side by side with the lap cars right in front of Busch. Oh, is he gonna? Oh man! Williams kind of pinched him off there. They're still side by side. Busch all the way to the bottom, 3 wide off of turn 7 down the front straightaway. Near the start-finish line, 37 to go. Clearing both easily by the time they get into one. Arcs it back to the outside to get a perfect corner entry there. And back out to about a 4.5 second lead again. Austin Cindric has moved past Alex Labbe that last lap for 3rd, and Labbe now being pressured by Noah Gragson for 4th. Yeah, Tigers have won 5 games in a row going into today. I have no clue if they won, lost, what the score is. Heck, I don't even know if they're playing today, to be completely honest. They might have had the day off, now that I'm thinking about it. I really don't know. I wasn't able to check. Usually I'm on top of those things, but... Busch trying to break the draft to the bottom again. Gonna gas it up to get by Benny Miller on the exit of turn 1. He got a little loose, so Busch was easily able to clear him there. No problem. Kyle's got a lot of clean air back in front of him again. Not as big of a lead as what you saw earlier. Seems like the other drivers, the other leaders in the top 5 have been getting through lap traffic a lot better this time around. They have also gotten a little bit faster themselves as well. Busch's lap times haven't really dropped. So they have definitely gotten faster. And we still have at least one more pit stop left in the race, again, depending on what the cautions might look like. Jackson Pittner, welcome to the stream. Martin, welcome to the stream. Logan Corbin, welcome to the stream. 35 laps to go for Kyle Busch. As we near the 10 o'clock hour, top of the hour. And again, state it. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content to this YouTube channel. Got these full race live streams on the daily, realistic broadcast. The whole 9 yards, as you're seeing over the course of this race tonight at Watkins Glen. The Zippo 200. Busch has opened up about a 12-second lead on Jones over the last couple laps now. He's really widening it out. It was a 6.5 second lead a few laps ago. And Cindric is closing in on him. He is all over Jones for second. That is not what Kyle Busch wants to hear. Kyle came into this race 32 points behind Cindric for that last... Or, sorry, not the last playoff spot, but for the regular season championship. So that's an additional 15 playoff points. Busch and Cindric are chasing each other for it. And that has kind of reeled him in slightly over the last couple races, but he is still quite a ways back. I think he's over 50 points back. He's not completely out of it yet. If Cindric and Busch maybe get another DNF or two in there, it's not impossible. And Cindric has not DNF'd yet this season, and he has only finished outside the top 10 3 times. Being a road course race today, I figured he was going to have a pretty good night, and he's battling for second as we speak. So Cindric is all on it once again here today. We can alternate through the different camera angles one final time in the race today when we get to the start-finish line this time by. A few more lap cars in the picture coming up ahead for Busch. Really hasn't made a mistake all day. He's made a couple minor ones, but no big mistakes all day, and that is good for Kyle. He needs to have a mistake-free race. He's had some bad luck between Pocono and Michigan. We're on another bigger track, although it's a road course. He's also looking for redemption again from how Road America ended up going. It was going good in the first half of the race. Ran top 2 for most of the day, and late race restart kind of derailed him from that point on. And a big hop off the curb there by Tommy Joe Martins. I have not watched any of the NBA or the NHL since they came back. I would if the Red Wings or the Pistons would have even played like qualifiers, but they didn't even have a good enough season to do that, so they just never played. I've watched some baseball because the Tigers have been on, but that's about it. I mean, outside of NASCAR, I really only watch my favorite teams play. Outside of the NFL, I'll watch more of the NFL because I have a fantasy football team every year, and I'm pretty knowledgeable with that. But I guess college football in a sense too. Pretty much football is like the only like stick and ball sport that I actually watch. I could watch like any team play. When the playoffs roll around, I usually watch it, but for whatever reason this year it just hasn't been the same. Third caution of the race is out with 32 laps to go, and we're going to see our final pit stop of the day. Austin Cindric just moved to second place before the yellow. We'll see if he'll have a fast enough pit stop here. We'll have 29 laps to go when we go green. Will this be the final restart of the race? Just hit 10 o'clock on the east. Austin Cindric lost that spot. He gained on Jones on the track. That is a huge loss there. Green flag back in the air. 29 laps to go as Kyle Busch won the race off pit road again. Nails the shifts down into turn 1. Trying to get a good corner here to stay away from Brandon Jones. He did a great job. Kyle Busch leads into the Essex up the hill. Kyle has been on it all night. And we'll see if he can hold on to the finish. Jones, we'll see if he made another adjustment. They had a fast pit stop. He definitely made some adjustments to pit stop prior to that. He was a little bit faster, but still not quite fast enough to keep up with Kyle. So we'll see if this will be the chance that Brandon Jones needs. And man, if Austin Cindric, we really could have gotten to see a good battle there, I think, between the 54 and the 22. But Cindric's team lost one spot on pit road, despite not having the preferred lane going into turn 1. But now he's going to have to fight to catch back up to Brandon Jones and hopefully get around him. 28 to go. Up to speed into turn 1 this time. Busch still nails it perfectly. A flawless night for Kyle Busch here at Watkins Glen. Still more road course racing action yet this season. And we do know Talladega is coming up before the playoffs start as well. That is also the site of the championship race, but needless to say, we're still in the regular season, so we're focused on that for right now. And for Kyle Busch, again, focused on trying to win that regular season title. And Busch goes wide in turn 5. Another minor mistake, not a huge mishap there. He's still easily going to hold on to the lead, and still a little bit of a gap between him and Jones, but Jones definitely capitalized on that little bit of an error by Kyle Busch. He gained a couple tenths in turn 5. That was about it, but he's still about a second off the lead. little hard by Busch into turn 7, not too bad. .26 to go for Kyle Busch. Fuel should be good to the end. They restarted. Everybody was about 3 laps to the good, and now they're only about 1 lap to the good. So maybe fuel is an issue before the end of this thing. We'll have to keep an eye on that going forward. We've seen Watkins Glen fuel mileage races before. That would definitely throw an odd strategy into how this race might go to the finish. But I think for right now, we're just going to bank on there being a caution perhaps by the end of the race. We have not seen any green flag stops today. We came close on the last run, but we've had 3 cautions equally spaced apart. But no green flag stops. Scheduled at least. And we've pretty much seen this 18, or I should say 54 car out in front of the field for Kyle Busch all day long. Kyle's led all but the first 2 to 3 laps of the race. And we only have... And outside of those first 5 laps of the race, it really hasn't been much of a battle. Three-second advantage now over Jones. Busch hit turn number 5 perfectly. Cindric still third. LeBay close behind Cindric in 4th. And close behind LeBay is Noah Gragson in 5th. So the top 5 all within 5 seconds of the lead right now. .24 laps to go. We'll stick with the normal cam to the end of the race. Of the drivers in the top 5, Brandon Jones in 2nd and Gragson in 5th have not won yet this season. And Jones has ran 2nd pretty much all night. Again, he did get passed there by Cindric right before the caution, but then his team won the race off pit road. Well, I should say beat Cindric off pit road. He was 2nd off the pit road, but got the restart on the front row, held on to 2nd on the restart, and still in 2nd now. It's going to be tough for him to hold on for over 20 laps, but we'll see. And again, we don't know what the fuel strategy exactly is going to look like here, but you need to push it to the end. You can't afford a short pit hoping it stays green and everybody runs out. So tire wear will be a factor at the end of the run also. So we'll have to keep an eye on that going forward. Busch has by no means won this race. We still got time left. CP, welcome to the stream. Now, if we do get a caution, these guys should make it on fuel. Otherwise, it is going to be pretty close. Caution. Well, there it is. 23 laps to go. We get another yellow. That's the 4th caution of the race today. We'll restart with 19 laps to go. You're going to see the leader stay out of the pits. See if anybody at the back is going to pit. Nope. Tommy Joe Martin's 2 laps down. We'll get 1 of his 2 laps back under the free pass. So now fuel shouldn't be an issue. Should be able to make it on fuel to the end of the race. Man, I could name so many bands that I listen to. I'll pretty much listen to like any like of the 80s like thrash metal, like Metallica, Megadeth, a little bit of Slayer and Anthrax, but not as much. But that's kind of what I like, go back to my roots in a sense. But I do like a lot of today's metal. Avenged Sevenfold, Bullet for My Valentine, Trivium. I've kind of been listening to a little more Parkway Drive and I Prevail. Lately meaning the last like handful of months or so. What's another band? Motionless in White, Breaking Benjamin, Killswitch Engage. I can just keep going on and on. There's the list. The list is really long. Let's just say that. I've seen a lot of concerts too. Never any of those bigger headline bands come through Toledo or Detroit. I'm usually going. There's very few bands that I haven't gotten to see that I really want to see. I Prevail is a good, like, if you don't really listen to rock or metal, I feel like I Prevail is like that perfect band to transition from whatever you listen to another. Unless you listen to country, then it might be a little different. But if you listen to like pop, R&B, or rap, like I think I Prevail is a good transition into the rock and metal community. They're younger. Just that style of music, because I typically don't even really listen to that like poppy or, you know, rock, but for whatever reason they pull it off really well. Reed Sorensen's the GOAT. Well, Jones is trying to hang with Busch. He's about a second off the lead on the restart. Cindric again holding on to third on Alex LeBay, followed by Noah Gragson in the top 5. Jones got another shot at Busch with the caution. Can he run him down? He just needs him to make a mistake, but Busch has not made a huge mistake all day long. It's going to be really tough. You prefer metal over alternative? Yeah. I mean, I grew up on Linkin Park too, so I listen to a lot of them. Like, alternative's good. Like, new metal alternative. Disturbed is pretty good too. I guess you can kind of throw Breaking Benjamin into that kind of genre, in a sense. And 20 laps to go. Watkins Glen again. Fuel no longer an issue after that last caution and a restart that happened a few laps ago. We'll have to keep an eye on that left front tire for Kyle Busch. Once it gets below 30% tire wear, you guys know, as usual on these road courses between Heat 4 and Heat 5, the grip level really goes away. We're using the steering wheel, so we might have to fight the car a little bit harder to hang on to it here. There is no more pit stops the rest of the way. Track position is key from here on out, despite the fact they have 2 sets of tires left, because there's only been 2 pit stops today. What are you guys talking about with the Penske situation? I like missed, I'm catching the end of the conversation, but I think I missed something big. Is Blaney okay? No, I'm sure he is. 2-second lead here for Kyle Busch. 15 laps to go. I think it's safe to say, as long as Kyle Busch has decent tires, he's not going to make a mistake. If he will, it's going to be simply because those tires are going to be below 30% tire wear on that left front. And all it takes is one tire to get to that point for the whole car to just completely be offset and the handling go completely away for the most part. It'll even be close at this point if it's even going to happen. I would imagine it still is, but that caution, that's 4 less green flag laps he had to run. And he was going to be close to the end of that fuel run as it was. Now that should be at least a 3 to 4 laps to the good on fuel by the end of the race. So if we go multiple overtimes, then we're considering being at risk there of maybe not making it. But and we still might even get another caution before the end of the race. You never know. The way these things go sometimes. 14 to go. He's still running 109 lap times this late into the race. Ladies and gentlemen, over 60 laps, almost 70 laps in. Kyle Busch is still running lap times in the 109 bracket area. That is amazing. About halfway through the tire run. It's about Cindric. Oh, okay. Merch is off sale, the Penske website. That's weird. I think LaJoie's going to JTG. That'd be a little bit of an upgrade if he did. Yeah, fortunately Ryan Preece has not been good. He's like right around 30th. He's actually running worse this year than what he ran last year. Last year wasn't really a season to remember either. In his rookie season. Busch has opened it up to almost a 5-second lead, about 4.5 seconds on Jones, so he's slightly getting away from him once again, and it's all Kyle wants to see. That interval getting larger and larger. The last lap was a 109.8 that time. Or the lap before was a 109.9. Cindric closing that gap on Brandon Jones. He's about a second behind him, and if they start battling, that's just going to allow Busch to pull away more and more. Kyle's just hoping it stays green to the end, and he should be able to be perfectly fine for the most part here. 12 to go. Definitely seen a lot more cautions today than what we saw at Road America in the first road course race. 1 all day that day. We've had 4 so far today. Well, still not a lot, but it's a fair amount. For a road course, not bad. Kyle has won this track at the Cup Series multiple times. Kyle, known as pretty good and pretty solid road course driver. Austin Cindric, we knew he would put up a fight today, and he is in third and has been in the top 3 most of the day. He just has not been able to get around Jones. He got around him once right before that third caution of the race, and we thought that might have been the opportunity he needed. He got the caution. He'll get the restart right alongside Busch, and he might make a run for him. We'll get to really see how fast of a car Cindric's got today, but we just were not able to get that opportunity because Cindric, under the green or under the pit stops under caution, after that said caution, he lost that spot he gained on Jones right before the yellow. Jones beat him off the pit road for second, and it's been a lot of the same since. Cindric hoping to get by Jones, and maybe if he could just get by Jones, get one more restart and one more shot at Busch, And the top two points getters this season could go at it for the win on a road course. And again, both these guys very serviceable road course drivers, so that would be a lot of fun to say the least. Could have some late drama unfolding there for sure. Over an 8-second lead all of a sudden. And 10 laps to go this time by. So 10 to go. Lap traffic in the not so distant picture here for Kyle Busch. And this is where a caution could really play havoc too, because Busch's tires are getting older and older. He will hit 30% tire wear after all by the end of this race. And if we get that caution with a few laps left and his tires are extremely worn out, he's going to be struggling just to hold on to the race car, let alone hold on to the lead, much like the race at Pocono last night. Only at Pocono a little different. He had drivers on fresh tires behind him, had to hold on for 6 laps, and he just couldn't do it. He just did not have the speed and the handling of the car on those older tires that the guys did on fresh tires. So hopefully we don't have an issue like that here today. Difference is they'll be on equal tires. They just drive a lot better than Busch can on the very old tires. Nine to go. Do you listen to Our Last Night? Is that a song or a band? If it's a band, I've never heard of them. More lap traffic, and there's Jesse Little not having a good run at all. 33rd after back-to-back top 10s and a 3rd place finish at Pocono yesterday. Not the way Jesse Little had pictured this day going, but maybe he's just not a good road course racer. And he came into the day knowing that he would have had to salvage a lot more. He did start at the rear, so he didn't have good track position to start either. On the outside of Mike Harmon to turn 7. I haven't really seen Busch go around the outside to pass any cars today, but he'll pass and clear Harmon pretty easily off of turn 7. 8 laps to go. So still about 3.5 laps to the good on fuel for Busch. Maybe Austin Cindric is such a popular driver that he doesn't have any more merch. He sold out of everything. Cindric is the new Chase Elliott. Sarcasm, obviously. And Alex Labbe has moved up. Cindric has moved back. Cindric now back to 5th place. Labbe is up to 3rd, and Gregson is up to 4th. Not what Cindric wanted. He was knocking on the doorstep there. And now look at Noah Gragson. Gregson's up to 3rd. He just passed Alex Labbe all of a sudden. 7 to go. Gregson gaining some spots late in the race. So they're all trying to catch 2nd place. Brandon Jones, in case we get another caution, they want to be the driver to try and contend for the win on Kyle Busch. If we get the yellow, because Busch's tires are wearing out. 30% tire wear left on that left front now for Kyle Busch's Toyota Supra, and tires are really wearing out. Now he's got a decent lead now. Again, 13.5 seconds on Brandon Jones. That's a pretty sizable gap. He's just hoping it stays green long enough to get to the white flag. We had 4 cautions in the Pocono race last night, and the last one came on the final lap of the race. It just got to the white flag at the timing. Six to go. It's really backing off turn 1 quite a bit. Try not to lock the tires and wreck the car. Lap cars right in front of Busch. Off the exit of the bus stop. Tommy Joe Martin's not giving him a lot of room there, but oh, Busch got around him, and we have a caution with 6 to go. Caution on the racetrack with 6 laps left. And Busch, the terrible luck he has had the last 3 races now, if you count this one. Unbelievable. And we are going to have 3 laps to go when we go green, and Kyle Busch is on bald tires. This is unbelievable, the luck Kyle Busch has had 3 races in a row, assuming he can't hang on to this one. Free pass is going to go to Tommy Joe Martins again, but he'll only get one of those 2 laps back. At Gregson restarts in second. Another driver who hasn't won yet this year has a shot. He has not led a lap all day. Green flag back in the air. 3 laps to go at Watkins Glen for Kyle Busch, who has dominated and has led nearly 80 laps tonight. Busch off of turn 1. Beats Gregson back to the gas. That's a good start. On old tires, he is going to be trying to hang on for dear life. LeMay and Cindric battle for 3rd. Briscoe back to 5th, and Brandon Jones has fallen completely outside of the top 5. He's the only other driver to lead laps in the race outside of Kyle Busch. What a tough break there. Busch trying to hang on. Needs to back up these corners smartly, but he doesn't want to give up too much ground. Could open up the door for somebody else. Down to 26% on the left front. 2 laps to go this time by. And a 5 caution race. Can Gregson get his first win of the year? LeMay in 3rd. Can he go back to back? It was an upset win at Pocono. If he goes back to back, that would be insane. 2 to go. Busch did a good job there. Didn't really lock the tires up into turn 1. Almost stuck on that curbing there off the exit of turn 1. He's down to 22% all of a sudden. Oh, and he got in the wall. A little bit of a wheel spin there through the S's. And here comes Gregson to the back bumper of Busch. Into the bus stop chicane. Busch has been good through here all night. And he's good once again. He didn't bounce off the curb too drastically there. And Cindric in 4th place. He's chomping at the bit of LeMay for 3rd. Half a second lead for Busch. 2 corners to go, and then we get to the white flag. And if we get there, the next flag will end the race, whether it's the yellow or the checker. Gregson drove it in deep through turn 6, got it to stick. He is all over the back bumper of Busch. Oh, he is there off of turn 7. Busch blocks him. Busch pulls off the block off of turn 7. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go for Kyle Busch on bald tires. Easy with the downshifts through turn 1. Oh, he slides it off the exit, but he beats Gregson back to the gas. Busch just trying to hang on. LeBay now under a second off the lead. Gregson within a half a second, but he's only got about 4 turns to go to get Kyle Busch. Busch trying to pull him here through the bus stop chicane. Really kind of rode the brakes into turn 5. Busch is doing everything he can. He'll power slide if he has to, as long as he holds on to it. 2 corners to go as he pulls Gregson off those last 2 corners. Kyle Busch into turn 6. His Achilles heel, but he makes it perfectly. 1 more turn to go. Kyle Busch is gonna hang on at Watkins Glen, breaking the bad luck streak, and Kyle Busch will go back to victory lane at Watkins Glen as he wins his 8th race of the season and holds on in dramatic late race fashion on the final 3 laps when his tires were making him slide all over the place for those 3 laps. What a great job by Busch holding off Gregson in the late going, and Gregson will have to wait again. That is his 3rd second place finish of the year. Still winless and still only 3 spots open for the playoffs as Busch will burn the house down in turn 1. Maybe a little over dramatic for Busch's likings in the late going, having that caution, but he holds on to win it nevertheless. And he'll gain 7 points on Cindric tonight. That will put him 25 back going into Iowa in 2 nights. Cindric did come home 4th. There's a look at your top 10. Busch with the win. Gregson 2nd. LeBay 3rd. Cindric 4th. Harrison Burton 5th. Chase Briscoe 6th. Jeremy Clemens 7th. Sieg 8th. Brandon Brown 9th. And Ray Black Jr. rounds out the top 10. 84 minutes total time on the race today. That is 1 hour and 14 minutes. Take a look at your other finishing results here in this one. 21 drivers finished on the lead lap. Total of 5 cautions. And 3 drivers DNF. David Starr, Austin Hill, Jeffrey Earnhardt. And Brandon Jones, actually. Brandon Jones brought out that last caution, so 4 drivers DNF there. What a tough break for Brandon Jones. He was running 2nd virtually all night. He was the only other driver outside of Busch to lead laps in the race, and unfortunately finished 33rd without a win this year. That is a huge hit in the points for Jones in a race that he could have easily finished top 5. So a tough break there for himself there. Again, don't worry about the point standings. So we already know I'm taking care of that. And it looks like we can't really look at the other race stats or results for whatever reason. But that's going to do it here for this one tonight. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as usual. Hit the like button down below if you enjoyed the race, the commentary, the video in general. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Again, when I get off of work, we'll be streaming. We'll have Truck Series action back on the channel for NASCAR Heat 5. Talladega, final race of on the channel. Hope to see you guys then. We'll be back with the Xfinity the following night on Wednesday. We'll go to Iowa. Some short track racing there as well. Should be a lot of fun. I believe under the lights if I'm not mistaken. So that is going to do it for this one. And again, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Subscribe, like, share, and I'll see you guys. Have a good one.